Okay. All right, so we are back with our live coverage, and this is a slightly different format that you've seen. We're actually doing two interviewees with me, of course, here on goRIA. So this will be our final segment in our live coverage of the Envestnet conference here in Las Vegas. And why not end with something new? Now, these are two people who I'm sure you recognize, but for those of us in the audience that may not know completely, we have...
I'm Dana D'Auria, the Co-Chief Investment Officer and the
Not so easy, is it? Yeah.
Oh, no,
You never
We were joking. No, we don't start over. We just go. We roll.
Go with it.
We roll.
We go with it. And I'm Jamie Magyera. I'm the co-head of Wealth at Blackrock.
Okay, that's a little off-camera inside joke. Okay, so look, the reason why we're kind of breaking our format here, and I'm super glad we are, is that you guys have a cool announcement that is better with you guys together. So what is that announcement?
So I'll start, and then you can fill in. So, so the announcement that we made today, and maybe I'll even just take a step back and say, first of all, it's great to be at Envestnet Elevate, and I think what makes the announcement today so special is that we are literally surrounded by advisors and RIAs who are all here because they are trying to grow their business, to scale their business, and they're coming to Envestnet to make it easier. And so the announcement that we made today, in partnership with Envestnet, was to be able to bring our custom model capabilities to RIAs.
Nice.
And so what that means is RIAs for years have been leveraging models, right, to scale their business, to be able to offer more professionalized services to clients, but more importantly, save time doing so they can spend time with what they do best.
Absolutely.
Which is help their clients understand the whole picture and then also bring on new clients. And so the biggest point of feedback that we received, is similar feedback to what you received, is that these same RIAs want to now be able to customize these models.
Yes.
Right? So they want to put their IP into these models. And so we're really proud and excited to announce that today we have launched this through Envestnet in one simple, convenient UMA. And very shortly, we will be able to also integrate private markets as well as SMAs.
That is so fascinating, and we were talking again a bit off camera on the integration of the private markets. So, first let's take a minute and talk about why this is so important. And I've been talking about this a lot on goRIA. Most advisors now, especially the younger ones, understand we are not really in the portfolio management business as advisors. We're behavioral finance, we're planners, but the asset management is critical, but probably better left done in a model setting to get more process into your business. Is that something you're seeing a lot in Envestnet?
Oh, 100%. I mean, look, we have a huge focus on models, on ways to make more scalable practices for advisors.
Right.
And from our perspective, it's not, it's not this binary decision of, do I want to outsource to a particular model, to a particular manager, to, broadly distributed types of models. It's really the managers like BlackRock are finding innovative solutions like custom model strategies to say, how do we meet you, the advisor, where you are, right? And that's exactly what this program is. It's one among, several that are designed to really say to the advisor, okay, you can decide where you want to be on the spectrum for how much of the investment management you want to do, and we will work with you. And Envestnet will bring managers like BlackRock to that table and say, okay, you want a model strategy, but you want to have a little bit of say in the model strategy still. Great, we have managers who are going to build that, and that's exactly what BlackRock's CMS program does. And so it's not about this one-way decision anymore. Am I going to outsource? Am I not going to outsource?
Right.
It's how do I bring these managers to bear in a way that's going to help me be more efficient?
Yeah, so from our perspective, we use models a lot at Sovereign, but not for every single client and almost never for every part of that client household. For a good chunk of it, for sure, but not for every single piece. And one of our challenges has been incorporating private markets. Looks like you guys have solved for that, yeah?
Yeah, we're working together to do so. So, one of the things at BlackRock that we believe very, very strongly is that our mission should be to help advisors, and through advisors, their clients, access the full power of the capital markets. And for so long, capital markets were just the public markets. But you know well in your business that capital markets are increasingly becoming driven by private opportunities. And so as a platform and as an investment manager, we are working together to be able to say that for the advisor, for the RIA who wants to bring the full power of the capital markets to their clients, we will now be able to do so with Envestnet and through Envestnet. And today, in fact, advisors can access models with our liquid alt solutions, so we have target allocation with liquid alts. We will soon be coming to market with models that incorporate interval funds, and then after that we'll continue on to semi-liquid and more. And so that's our shared ambition, is to be able to help advisors, to your point, meet them where they are and how they want to build these portfolios, but be able to bring the whole power of the capital markets in ways that meet the unique needs of their clients.
Love that. So, I think I mentioned to you before, we're big BlackRock fans of Sovereign. We have a lot of your ETFs in our models. And one of the things I really am very fascinated about is your recent acquisition of SpiderRock. Such a cool option overlay. Will that be involved in this model solution as well?
Why, yes.
Why?
In fact,
this was not a pre-planned question. I was
great. I love
really
it.
curious, but yeah, okay.
Thank you for your question.
Spike.
Beautiful. So look, I think if we just think about some of the trends in the market, personalization is certainly a big trend.
Yeah.
One of the reasons personalization is so important is because it helps you, like you were saying, for your clients, solve for unique needs that your clients have.
Yeah.
Some of those needs can be solved through option overlays. Whether that be hedging portfolios against risk. We think about the past few days in the markets and how much we were doing to help advisors do exactly that. You also think about tax management and the role options can play. And so last year we acquired a firm called SpiderRock. We had been working with SpiderRock for years as partners, and we got to know each other really well, and together we solved many problems for advisors and their clients. And so now, as part of the BlackRock family, SpiderRock is also available through Envestnet.
Very cool.
And it's one of our fastest growing strategies through Envestnet, actually.
And for good reason. Like, we really like what they're doing there, and perhaps we'll have you back on just to do a little deep dive into the SpiderRock.
That'd be great.
Because I honestly talk to a lot of advisors, and honestly, they just don't know about it as much as they should, because it's really a very cool solution. For example, your, what do you guys call it, the exchange fund replicator.
Yep.
I think that's just a brilliant idea.
Thank you for that. Look, the team is incredible. Eric Metz is the CEO, you know him.
Yep.
Incredible team. They have such instinct, but importantly, what they've built is exactly what clients want. And so what they built is based on the feedback of RIAs like you, who are actually looking for ways to solve client needs, but do it in a scaled, methodical process.
Right. I keep hearing the word scale come up a lot in this conversation for good reasons. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think advisors have been customizing solutions forever, right? I mean, every client is different, and the advisor knows that and looks at that client. What they need from us, from a platform like Envestnet, is the ability to do that in an automated way. You know, they can sit there with an Excel spreadsheet and build all this stuff out. They always could. What are we doing to help them do that at scale to make their practice more efficient? That's what this is all about, really, right? It's so personalization at scale, making the advisor, giving them more time back. You know, look at the markets we're in right now, right? These advisors need to be on the phone with their clients, helping them through an extremely volatile period, helping them understand why they shouldn't sell out. You know, literally, as I was talking today on the stage about why you need to stay the course, the market was going back up because we had, you know, yet another announcement.
Right.
And so, you know, the advisor has the ability to add tremendous value in times like this to just keep the client disciplined. Strategies like these, option strategies, we expect structured products, the alternatives, these are all different ways, tools in the advisor's kit that they can use to help that client stay disciplined, to feel good about the investment, and ride out the ups and downs so that they don't make the mistake that really deprives them of long run wealth, which is selling low and then having to buy high.
That's right. Yeah.
I was just going to add in one of the things, and we were talking about this earlier, is when you think about the volatility in the markets and an advisor's role in helping keep their clients, you know, looking at the longer term. So many advisors are actually turning this into an opportunity for tax loss harvesting.
Yes.
And so, and you probably are seeing this in your own business, the opportunity, and I hate to say it, but the volatility is truly an opportunity for advisors to lean in and help their clients generate some tax alpha that will help them out later in the year.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that's really where the future of advice is, on delivering tax alpha and behavioral finance. And definitely the IP, which I love the idea of being able to put my own thoughts into the model, but then having you guys press the buttons to make it work. Because that's the part that I think advisors don't need to be doing, shouldn't be doing. It's not the best use of their time. Yeah.
Many times we call it co-CIOing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, outsourcing is a pretty intimidating term, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I want to outsource, but actually, I do want to get rid of the things that are not the best use of my time.
Without question.
But my IP and my beliefs on where markets are going, I do want to hold on to that a little bit. And so we call that co-CIOing.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Dana, we're almost out of time, but let me give you the last word to sum all
Sure.
this up.
Yeah, again, it's about, how the human with the technology comes together for a better overall solution. And everything you're hearing from us today is really about that. Tax is one of those things that kind of screams for the algorithm.
Yeah.
The conversation with the client during a time like this, I don't want to hear from an algorithm. I want my advisor on the phone telling me why I should stay put.
Absolutely. Well, that's a good place to put a pin in it for today. So Dana, Jamie, thank you so much for joining me today and closing out today's first session of our coverage of the Envestnet conference. I will be back again tomorrow for another full day of live coverage. Please stay tuned for that. So on behalf of goRIA, fueled by Investment News, I'm Chuck Vela, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
This was
Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you.